This is how you're gonna give off a very feminine aura. It doesn't matter how much makeup you want to put on, gloss, doing your nails. You can do all those things and still be so masculine and give off that masculinity. So number one, when you tell people every single detail about your life, you have zero mystery, you have zero aura. And you get this when you stop oversharing and start being more private and respecting your privacy. It's also great because people can't ever read you, so they never know what you're up to. You're very mysterious. And number two, you cannot have aura without confidence. If you think that you're ugly, you're worthless, and you'll never amount to anything, where's the aura? The aura just screams that. But if you walk in places, take a deep breath when you go in places, and honestly pretend that you own the building, you need to lie to yourself. If you have to, lie to yourself. Keep saying it, repeat, rewire your brain to have this aura. 3, you want to play on 3 senses: sight, hearing, and smell. 1, look presentable. 2, don't talk too much, and when you do talk, let your words sound like music rather than noise. Number 3, hygiene. You always want to smell good. That'll attract a very good aura. You put the time wearing your best outfit, doing your hair, doing your makeup, and actually presenting yourself well with internally knowing that you have confidence. Your aura will be so loud, so magnetic. If you could do these 3 things, you'll have no problem having a very feminine aura.
Here are a few subtle habits that'll make you instantly seem more feminine. When you're holding a conversation with someone, maintain gentle eye contact. Feminine women know how to communicate their presence without their words. So gentle eye contact, that will create a connection and also show your confidence. It's a quiet and graceful way to hold space in any room. Secondly, speak with warmth. It's important to pay attention to your tone because that is one of the first things people will notice. A soft, confident voice is what draws people in. You don't have to speak loudly to be heard. Your voice will basically command attention on its own. Lastly, learn to move in silence. A feminine woman understands that not everything needs to be shared. You don't have to announce every win, and you don't have to explain your every move. There's strength in mystery and privacy, and that is really what keeps your femininity sacred. Hope this helps.
Here are 3 main ways that I became more feminine and attractive. Before I tapped into my feminine energy, I was literally stressed 24/7. I felt so unattractive. I was literally gaining a lot of weight. So I'm going to give you the secrets. 1, I was in my body more instead of in my head. When you're in your body and you can feel the presence of everything, you can feel the sunlight on your skin, this makes you so much more attractive and present and magnetic. This is the feminine energy and the type of presence that allows you to connect with anybody. Now when I go out, I literally make friends like this, and I get asked out on dates at least 1 to 3 times every time I go out. Number 2, I started living a life of pleasure. When you live a life of joy, you are so deeply in your feminine energy. You will be smiling, your energy will be so good, you will be so magnetic and attractive. Most of you girls are out here doing things that you hate every single day, but imagine if you were living in paradise, you live your dream life, you'd be so happy and people would literally be so obsessed with your energy. Stop feeling guilty for your desires, do what you love, ask for your desires because your desire, your joy, and your pleasure is sacred. Number 3, start validating yourself, your desires, and your feelings. The reason why you're in your masculine energy is because somebody in your past told you that your desires, your feelings, you're being too sensitive, you're being too much, you're asking for too much. So that pushed you away from your feminine energy and made you feel guilty and shame. That's why you go into your masculine energy and start trying to prove your worth. That's how you become extremely feminine and get people to give you princess treatment. If you want to enter into your feminine energy, comment me down below and follow for more.
Let's get ready and talk tips on how to be more feminine and more classy. Feminine, classy vibe. Okay, so my first tip is honestly stop trying to be so mysterious. I feel like a lot of people, they always say be mysterious and this and that. No, mysteriousness will have you hiding your emotions, and I think the most feminine thing a woman can do is own her emotions. There's nothing wrong with crying, there's nothing wrong with laughing loud, there's nothing wrong with owning every single emotion that comes your way. So if you have to cry, baby, cry. If you are feeling that way, feel the emotion. Feel. It just is so feminine and will help you in your journey of healing and really figuring out who you are as a woman. So tip number 2, I had to learn this one, and I feel like we all have to learn this one the hard way, is stand on what you say. Stand on it. So before you say anything, think, am I really gonna follow through with this? So if I know I'm not gonna do it, I will not say it. Because when people think about you, they'll be like, yep, that girl stands on what she says. She's classy with it. If she says no, it means no. Especially with these men, we have to stand on what we say. So if we say no, we mean no. Once you grow and you're on your journey and you start setting these boundaries, it is going to make people mad. It is going to make others mad that you are setting boundaries, and that is honestly the goal. It weaves out people who are not going to respect you or respect your boundaries. Number 3, being on time. It also shows respect for other people's time. I always say, like, I always hear women say, oh, well, be a couple minutes late to a date, do this. No, I'm gonna be on time because I need to see if he's on time. Want to see if a man is gonna go through with his word as I go through with mine. And if you want people to respect your time, you have to respect their time as well. If you say 7 o'clock, I'm gonna be at the door waiting for you at 7 o'clock. Just being on time, you also will see how others respect you and your time. 4. This one comes with freaking self-control. Everything does not need a response. I get it. When somebody wants or tries to bring you out your character, sometimes it is so hard to stay into your character. The wise do not retaliate, baby. Once you understand why certain people say certain things or talk badly or have to say something about you, you will realize that 99% of the time, these people are miserable. I've learned is misery, baby. Misery loves some company. Some things just simply do not need a response. Stop going back and forth. Do not go back and forth, especially with somebody that you know is miserable. Accept how you feel, and when you feel it, you will be able to be more empathetic and step into other people's shoes, and right away you're gonna say they're miserable. Okay, this last one is one that I preach so much. Embrace the things that you were taught growing up. As Latinas and Black women, we are taught to cook, clean, take care of the house. You know, those were some of the things that when we were growing up, that's what we were taught or pushed to learn. We were taught that some of these things are meant for when we get married, when we take care of a man. But once you embrace it and you start thinking, well, listen, I was taught how to cook, I was taught how to clean, I was taught how to take care of myself, look good, smell good, whatever. And I do this for myself. Using these tools that I've learned to take care of myself. Cook, you're taught to clean, but do it for yourself. You know how to take care of yourself. We're strong, we're fierce. That's all we need to be. So tonight we have a dinner with philosophy. So let's go and enjoy tonight and see what is tea.
Let's talk about 3 different things that I feel like will help you be in your femininity. Number 1, your job as a woman is to truly just be present and intentional anywhere and everywhere that you go. Stressing over things that are out of your control are not part of your responsibility of being a woman and her femininity. Number 2, really start prioritizing yourself. The more that you prioritize yourself, the more love and abundance and goodness you'll be manifesting into reality, because you're basically nurturing yourself and nurturing your future self as well. And number 3, you should not be begging someone for their attention. If they're not willing to give you what you need or what you want in any relationship, this can be romantic, this can be platonic, why are you going to beg for someone to change and be someone that they genuinely aren't? You want to be with people that are authentically themselves and authentically show up for you because they want to, not because you're telling them to. At the end of the day, You have to really just reside and be, and realize that you can't control or manipulate anyone into being the version of them that you want them to be. You have to remember that at the end of the day, you are such a valuable human being that deserves the absolute best that this world has to offer. There are billions of people on this planet. You should not be begging absolutely anyone to be in your life, or to be acting or behaving a certain way that you feel like is respectable and suitable for you in your life. And then I'm going to go with my Westman Atelier because this is my absolute baby. I wear her every single day, every time that I go out. Do you see this color? It's stunning. Okay, I did the rest of my makeup off of camera, but seriously realize how powerful and divine you seriously are. I love you, and I'll see you.
This is exactly what I did as a hyper masculine, hyper independent girl who was in survival mode, to be more in my feminine energy, receive more princess treatment, and to align with my absolute dream life. What I learned is you can literally be blocking your blessings, blocking people in your life who want to spoil you, take care of you, love you, blocking God's blessings to provide for you, to give you success easily. I didn't do some basic healing work. What I did was a mix of nervous system and identity healing work. Hyper independence and survival mode in a lot of us isn't because we're actually in danger, but it's because we're in a fear-based identity. That identity creates perceived fear in our bodies based on our surroundings every single day, and that is literally why you feel this way. The first thing that I did was start to feel safe right now. I am safe, I am provided for by God, I am chosen. Rewired my identity in the present moment to match how I wanted to feel and also match what I want to attract. So using nervous system exercises, I also did exposure therapy as well. Sometimes your body just needs repetition and time to adjust to the fact that you're safe now, you're loved, you're taken care of. It needs time to adjust to receiving and actually receiving being taken care of. Then I tapped into my divine feminine identity. This is literally our God-given identities and how we are going to literally live our dream lives, attract all the abundance that we want into our life. This identity is you are chosen, you are beautiful, you are a daughter, you are worth everything that you've ever wanted, and God wants to give you all of it. When you operate from this identity of self-worth, of value, of love, of all of these things, and your nervous system learns that it is safe, you will effortlessly attract your dream life because you were meant to receive this whole time. You were never meant to chase, you were never meant to prove, you were never meant to be in hustle, survival mode, and burning out.
So I am back with part 3, and this is going to feel a little bit different than part 1 and part 2. And by the way, if you haven't watched those, I'm going to have them linked in the description box so you can catch up on that after this video. So what I want to talk about now isn't softness. It isn't aesthetics. And I would even say that it's not even emotional regulation, because we touched a lot on that, on how to use that to become even more feminine on part 1 and part 2. For this part, it's going to be about discernment. If you really pay attention to the women who embody what people call feminine energy, you'll notice something subtle. They don't necessarily always react fast. They observe a lot of the time. And that in and of itself is power. And there's research in behavioral psychology that shows that people who delay emotional reactions are perceived as more intelligent and more socially dominant over time. And that's huge because honestly, that's simply called response inhibition, which means the ability to pause instead of impulsively react all the time. And that pause alone shifts the social dynamics. And feminine energy, when embodied correctly, is strategic. It's not passive. It is not naive. It's not overly agreeable. It's not about people pleasing. That is not feminine energy. It's selective. And one of the biggest misconceptions online is that feminine means being endlessly kind beyond your own good, endlessly available to people that sometimes use you and are sometimes toxic towards you. Sometimes online, femininity is embodied as endless softness. No. Femininity means being intentional about yourself, but also about the people around you and the people that you choose to surround yourself with. There's also research from negotiation psychology that shows that people who speak less and observe a little bit more often control the emotional temperature of the room. So silence creates psychological weight. So when you don't rush to fill space, people lean in. People are more drawn to you because you are somewhat magnetic, to not say mysterious. And that's not manipulation. That's presence. That is feminine presence. So part 3 is really about this. Part 3 is about feminine energy and knowing that it's not about being seen everywhere and all the time. It is about being felt when you are there. It's about letting your presence speak on its own. It's about moving in alignment instead of urgency, in alignment with who? In alignment with who you are to the core. And if you want to know who you are to the core, you need to reconnect with your inner child. And my guide absolutely breaks that down. It's also about not announcing your standards. It's not about announcing your standards all the time. It's just about holding them and having them. And this is where a lot of people struggle sometimes because activation requires restraint. It requires not over-explaining yourself constantly. It requires not defending your boundaries repeatedly, especially not to the wrong people. It requires not chasing clarity from people who are committed to misunderstand you. Remember, when we talk about feminine energy, it's about standing in who you are. And some people are committed to misunderstand you completely all the time. And it doesn't matter how often and how many times you explain yourself. So it's being able to learn that and to discern between those two people, the people that are committed to misunderstanding you and the people that are just trying to learn who you are. It's really about quiet self-trust and that feminine intuition, knowing to trust that, knowing to trust her. And just to touch on psychology, so psychologically, self-trust is truly built through congruence, which means that when your actions consistently match your internal values, your brain reduces cognitive dissonance because you feel stable, you feel more solid, you feel more grounded, and most importantly, your inner child is at peace. And that grounded feeling, that is in and of itself attractive. Not loud confidence all the time, not forced mystery, grounded certainty. You see the difference there? You don't need to say that you're evolving all the time. You don't need to prove yourself differently constantly. You don't need to broadcast your growth all the time. However, it does mean that you need to become harder to access when it comes to certain people that are not there for you and for your growth. They're not there to help you level up and to support you in your dreams. And you know exactly who those people are in your life. It could be a friend that you've doubted for a long time. It could even be some family members. I know that a lot of people like to say family's family, but sometimes some family members don't have your best interests at heart, or maybe that's just how they present, right? So you need to be able to see that. So essentially, you need to become harder to access to the wrong people, but obviously not in a toxic way, just in a way that protects your inner peace and most importantly, your mental health, right? Because feminine energy also includes protecting of self, the protection of who you are. That means emotional boundaries. It also means energetic boundaries because not everybody deserves your energy. It also means time boundaries. And sometimes time boundaries impact yourself. Sometimes it's not going on TikTok as soon as you wake up in the morning. That's time boundary. So when you stop explaining every decision, when you stop reacting to every comment, you stop engaging in every debate, something shifts. People start respecting you differently. And it's subtle at first. It's not always dramatic, but it is calm. And honestly, I think that's what's missing in a lot of the conversations online. We talk about softness, but we don't talk about discipline all the time. We talk about glow, but not necessarily standards. So we talk about presence, but not necessarily positioning your presence. Feminine energy is positioning. How you carry yourself in a room, what you respond to, right? What you ignore, what you entertain, and what you refuse to enter your space. So hear me out. Feminine energy is not about doing more. It is, though, about filtering more. And the moment you start filtering, your life starts refining itself. And before you go, here's my message to you. Stop performing femininity and just start embodying discernment. That's one of the first steps. Let people reveal themselves to you. Take your time, move slower, speak more intentionally, mean more with what you do and what you don't do, with what you say and what you don't say. And I also want you to know that my guide on femininity is available on how to activate your feminine energy and become her. It's in my bio, and it's also in my description box. The one in the bio is a clickable link, and I'm going to see you for part 4. Anyways, I wish you have a good rest of your day.